What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan's Reviews, and today we're going to be doing another Walking Dead video leading up to Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 4, called 100. This is going to be a Walking Dead top 15 episodes of The Walking Dead, all seasons, really. Now, I've already done a top 10 list, but this is going to be an extended one. I'm putting this one to a top 15, so you guys can really see my top 15 best episodes of The Walking Dead. So, I got tons, so I think I'm going to start now because this video could be pretty long. But just to let you know, Season 6, if you guys didn't know, is definitely my favorite season of The Walking Dead. So, there's a lot of that on here. So, yeah. Let's get into the first episode. Now, this one is going to be number 15, The Grove. Now, The Grove is one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead, in my opinion. It is so dark. I mean, it's so dark. It's actually unbelievable how dark the episode is. When you really look at it, it's really dark. It got my attention when I saw it. I was like, wow. You know, like, when you see the stuff with Lizzie and Mika and just everything that Carol had to do, of course, at the end, leave the Grove, head for Terminus. They thought they could stay, but it would kind of be a little weird if they did after what happened, right? So, that episode in and of itself was a fantastic episode. Number 14. This one is going to be What Lies Ahead. Now, this is Season 2, Episode 1, the premiere. This one was extended. I really enjoyed the stuff with Rick and Sophia. I really enjoyed when they had to get under the cars, and it was like really exciting and everything. I enjoyed that one a lot because I really thought that the stuff with Rick and Sophia, I thought that he would have been able to bring her back to the highway. Didn't work. I thought we would see a scene where she goes through the woods and Sophia's like running and then she all of a sudden sees Carol. It's like this happy moment. But that is not what we see at all. So, really fantastic one. Carl gets shot at the end. They're at the church. You hear the church bells. They cut open the walker. It's just Daryl and Rick. I loved it. This was an amazing one. Number 13 is going to be Season 6, Episode 3, called Thank You. Now, this one was a huge one for fans because I know people really hate this episode because of what happens to Glenn later. It's like they make it seem like he dies, but they kill him off like a little over a half a season later. So it's like, what was the point of that anyway, right? But I loved how I love the trickery. I'm a big fan of that. I was a big fan of how they did that because it really made us feel like we lost Glenn. And now it was actually, I would say, somehow easier to lose him in the premiere than I thought it would be. I mean, it was still hard, but I would say it's easier because we've already felt that kind of feeling of losing Glenn before, you know, if you know what I mean. So really great. We got Rick running and all that stuff. Just loved it. So you got Michonne and her group as well out there, and it was fantastic. So number 12 is going to be This Sorrowful Life, which the death of Merle was huge, you know. I'm begging you, right? And he said that he didn't say that to the governor. He did not. He said it to God. And I know that for a fact because he said that when he was on the rooftop when he was alone. So, I'm just putting that out there, right? Yeah. So, fantastic. I'm a big Merle fan, so that was a great one for me and for a lot of people as well. So, yeah. Number 11, Killer Within. Now, this was the death of Lori, very tragic, but you also had the death of T-Dog in this one as well. Rick's reaction at the end of this one was just incredible. What we see and just how it went, I thought was really fantastic. Just the way everything went with that. Very memorable episode for sure. Number 10, JSS / Just Survive Somehow. This one we see like Assassin's Creed, like just Carol go out there. We get Morgan Owlkill and just all this stuff. Really cool. And I really like this episode because we see the wolves, but it's like they don't last long. Like they're like the cannibals. They don't last very long. Like the hunters, right? They don't last very long. But I think this episode was still a decent episode for the wolves. But really crazy when you see everybody. You got Carl, he's got the machine gun, and you got Gabriel, and you got Morgan, he's running around. You got the Horn, and people that are out there dealing with the herd are probably wondering what's going on. We see that a lot in Thank You, where they're like, oh, well, what was that horn, all that, what was that? Just fantastic. Now, Number 9. So number 9 is going to be the second last episode of season 2, which is Better Angels, with the death of Shane. We get the death of Randall beforehand, but when Rick kills Shane, this was probably my favorite moment in the entire series. When you see Rick kill Shane, why is it my favorite part? One of them, at least, is because it concludes that Rick versus Shane thing that they had going on. And sorry about the darkness. It's kind of raining outside, so sorry about that. But anyway, number 8 is going to be Days Gone By, which is awesome. I love this pilot. Now, why is this number 8? This one is just simply, it's so nostalgic for me because this was when I really got into the Walking Dead television series and the comic book series when we had this story arc right here when it was starting. The first issue of the Walking Dead comic book series, the first episode of the Walking Dead TV series, it's always gonna be part of my favorite parts. It's just always going to be, because it got me introduced to my favorite series ever, right? If you know what I mean. So, yeah, as you can tell by the background of my videos. Now, number 7 is going to be the season 2 finale, Beside the Dying Fire. Why is this one my favorite? Well, they leave the stupid farm finally, so that's one thing. Not that I hated the farm, I just got a little tired of it after a while. You get the appearance of Michonne, even though we don't actually see her actual face, but we see the prison from distance, we see everybody separated, then they re-find each other. Rick's like, I killed Shane, and love this one. Especially like the first 20 minutes where they're at the farm and all that stuff going on there with the barn, and oh man, what an awesome way to end a pretty good season, I would say. Number 6 is going to be Four Walls and a Roof. This one was the one where Rick kills Gareth. We see the death of Bob. We see Abraham and his group take off. This one was great because I really thought that they put in enough care to actually try to make it even more brutal in the comic books. I don't know if it was more brutal. They're kind of both pretty brutal. The comic book series, I'd say, was more brutal. Like, I'm not saying the scenes, that's tough to say, but the comic book series, like, in between series, I think the comic book series is more brutal because there's certain things that they go further on, like, gore-wise, in the comic books. I'm sure people that read the comic books agree with me when it comes to that. Number 5 is going to be the most recent episode of The Walking Dead, episode 99 of the series, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. Some people were happy with this one, some people weren't. I don't know why. This episode was outstanding to me. I mean, I love that part too, where Rick just gets right in his face and he's like, I told you already, I'm going to kill you. Now, I know Negan he's one of my favorite characters, but I do feel like we probably will see Rick kill Negan. I feel like because they keep saying it. I don't think it'll be an all-out war. I don't think they're going to change it for the TV series. But I think in the comic books, it's still coming up. I feel like it's going to be a long time before we see it, but I do think that we will eventually see Rick or somebody kill Negan, and that's why I love that scene so much. And just everything, the tiger and the death of Sasha and just everything they did, the Abraham thing that they had, and wow, I love this one. So, number 4, Too Far Gone. I'm not going to go too much into this one. Death of Herschel, the end of the prison, the death of the governor. We had all that stuff. Great episode. I mean, how could you not like this one? Now, number 3, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. I love the beginning of this one because they really teased who died. And I loved how they teased us. I really do. Now that you know who died, I kind of like seeing this. So, yeah. And you had to think about what could still happen, right? And the brutalest one was Maggie, right? When you see Maggie get the bat, right? That was pretty brutal. Really fantastic. We get the Maggie, and it's all oh man. Yeah, and you get Rick almost cutting off Carl's hand. Just love this one. Now we get No Sanctuary. This is number 2. This one you get Carol saving everybody. You get the slaughter at the beginning, which was crazy. Love this one as well. Now, number 1 is going to be No Way Out, which is the mid-season premiere for The Walking Dead Season 6. This one, the reason why, is because of how much they took from the comic book series, how much did they change from it, the rocket launcher, everything, the eye shot. I mean, this one was perfect. I had no complaints with this episode. I really like when Rick was cutting off Jesse's hand, like the red that they had. Oh, wow. So, yeah, there's my list, guys. I mean, I think that's a pretty decent list. Those are my 15 best. I stretched it to 15, probably next season stretch it to 20, maybe even 25. And I also am going to do a video ranking from worst to best, all 16 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 7. I did it for the first half, but I want to do it for the entire season. That's a tough one to do, but I think I could do that, right? Because it's just an extra number, because I did 15 there for the entire series. I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'd do 16 for an entire season, right? So if you guys want to see that, write down in the comments below if you guys want to see ranking worst to best episodes of The Walking Dead Season 7, or from like every season. I could do that as well. So make sure to write your comments below. What are your top 10? I'll do a top 10 worst probably either tomorrow or some point in time this week. I already did a list like this, but now it's a 15, so make sure to write yours below, and I will see you guys really soon. Peace.